Okay, welcome back everyone. So today I wanted to give you guys a thorough unboxing of my latest drone that I've gotten hold of here, and that would be the DJI Mavic Pro. So I just received it today and did my inspection, made sure everything was there, all that good stuff. So this is the box that it comes in. So as you can see here, nothing real fancy on the box here, just a big old box here. It has some information about the fact that it's got some lithium ion batteries in it and things like that. So get started here. Just open it up, take a look inside. So as you can see here, now I got the Fly More combo, and so I'm going to go through everything here. I'm going to start with just the Mavic. So if you bought just the Mavic, this first section here will pertain to you guys. So just going over everything here. So we've got, here's the Mavic's box. We've got DJI Fly More combo box. And then we've got this other box here. Okay, so here we have the Mavic Pro. So as you can see, this is the size of the box. It's not real big. Give you a nice little case here. It's got a handle on the top here, which is nice. You can keep everything folded up in there. And just has some of the information here. Just opens up here, but we just push the handle here and we open it up. And there it is. There's the Mavic. So I'm just taking a look at it here. This is the Mavic. So as you can see here, it's a real nice, almost hand-sized quadcopter. I mean, it's folded up here, and as you can see, that's all the bigger it is. It's not that big. Just to give you some size comparison here, I have my Phantom 3 Standard. So putting these two side by side, you can see there's quite a bit of difference in size. Things like that. And we'll get that out here a little bit later again. So just looking over some of the things here. Now it does, in the box, it doesn't come with the rear or the front arms. So the propellers are not installed instantly. But so getting right into it here. So the Mavic is great because it folds up. And as you can see here, all you got to do is simply unfold the front arms, and then the back arms fold out. And you just lay it down here and straighten these out. You don't have to. I like to unfold them a little bit, just because even though it's going to start up, when it starts, it's going to do a little centrifugal spin to get them going. It's always a good idea to, kind of open them up ahead of time. Just save yourself a little trouble, just in case something were to go wrong. So getting back into the rest of the box here. So here we have the controller. You can see it's got the little film things on it, stuff like that. So controller's real nice. It's nice and solid. It doesn't feel lightweight or anything like that. And again, to give you a comparison here, this is the Phantom 3 controller, and this is the Mavic Pro controller. So a little bit different between the two controllers. So you got your standard stick inputs here. Everything's spring loaded. It's got a real nice grip to the top, so you can have that nice precision control. There's a little thumb button here. DJI calls it the 5D button. You've got a on-off button here, and you've got a return to home button and a pause button. So I haven't really looked into that, but you've got a sport switch here. And then you have these two little buttons on the back here. I believe they call them C1 and C2. So that's that. And if you grab the bottom here and unfold, this is how the controller opens up. And then you would slide your phone into here. And I'll go over that a little bit later. Now the connection's right here on the side. You can see here. This one here, I've already installed the micro USB since I don't have an Apple product. It does come with a lightning cable and also a Type-C USB cable. So that's pretty cool. There's a USB port here on the bottom. This is actually going to be coming in handy for those who want to use a tablet, because you can actually use a tablet with this. If you open these up all the way, the tablet will fit up in here nicely. These little notches here actually allow you to get the tablet corners in there. And then you can use this USB port here on the bottom and to plug into your tablet. unless you have a cable, this is actually on the side here. It looks square, but it's actually a micro USB port, and this is actually where you charge the controller as well. So if you had a micro USB to micro USB, you could use that to use a tablet with. So get back into the controller here a little bit more. The antennas are pretty nice. They're nice and folded up here. So they just kind of have a little detent right here. I don't know if you can see that very well here. But they just lock into place. And then that way they don't go anywhere. Real easy to get apart. And then this one turns clockwise towards you, and this one turns counterclockwise. So you can see the range of motion. It's only 90 degrees from here to here. And same thing with this one, there to there. So when you're using it, it recommends to have them kind of pointing upwards, like on a slight angle, and like this. And then that way it gives you the best transmission, because these the antenna signal travels on the flat surface outwards. So on the top here you have a picture button. It's got a little camera image on it. You have a little thumb wheel here. Each little bit of a turn, I don't know if you can see, it has a little stop in there. It turns indefinitely, but it has a little detent every, I would say probably quarter turn. And then this one over here, just like on the Phantom 3, has the auto spring back to center, and it goes up and down, so this is more likely the gimbal control. So we got the nice little DJI logo here, and I'm not sure if those are, that looks like a little speaker port right there. For any kind of the warnings and labels, and it looks like there's also speakers down here in the bottom as well. So I'm just going to leave that open there. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So getting back into the rest of the box here. So we've got we've got this foam here. That's what the controller sat on. This here looks like booklets. So this is the booklets, the instruction guide, the quick start guide. So you've got a quick start guide here. It goes over all the different things, tells you what all the different things are for the controller. So yes, the one that has the little stops in it there, that's the camera settings dial. The other one was the gimbal dial. And then 16, 17 are the C1 and C2 buttons, different things like that. So that's a good book to have. Always recommend reading that. I'll read that a little bit more here before we fly it, stuff like that. So this is just a little in the box thing here. It says it comes with a RC lightning cable, standard USB, and a Type-C. And then it also comes with some sliders. Comes with the aircraft, the controller, one set of propellers. It comes with 3 sets of propellers. So a front, a back, and then an extra set. Comes with the gimbal clamp. It does come with a micro SD card preloaded. I believe it's a 16 gig. Comes with a micro USB cable for charging, and then it also comes with the battery charging brick. So that's pretty cool. Safety guidelines for the battery, different things like that. And then obviously here you have the DJI Care Refresh information there. So always a good idea. You get a nice 1 year of free replacement coverage if necessary. I think it's $29 the first time and $129 for a complete replacement the second time. So we got a nice little charging brick. Again, it's got this nice protective stuff on it. Has a specific charging port here, so this only fits the Mavic chargers, or the Mavic battery packs here. So that's for that. But then it has 2 USB connections here as well, so you could charge up to like your phone or tablet, or even the controller as well. So in the front here, we have this little thing here. It has a little power icon. This is actually pretty neat. They packaged this in here nicely. You can stick all these cables in here and just plop that back into the case. And it keeps everything nice and tidy. If you wanted to use this as a case. Again, this is everything that comes with just the Mavic. So if you order just the Mavic, this is everything that you're going to get. So here's the power cable for the battery brick, or the charging brick. Here's a micro USB cable to charge the controller. This is the Type-C USB cable. This is so that you could use a Type-C phone. Some of the newer phones are Type-C. I believe Apple's going to the Type-C as well. And then also here we have the, this looks like the lightning cable. Yep, so this is the lightning cable. Now, if you like I said, if you bought this yourself and just opened it today, it's going to come preloaded with this lightning cable in it already. So underneath where the craft sat, there's another little piece of foam, and here's your blades. So you got this one set here. This is a spare set, and then these are the front. These are the back blades. So you get these nice little carry bags here. You can keep them in. They're nice and felt. You know, just something, keep them nice, keep them from getting all scratched up. This doesn't come out, so that looks like it. That's everything in the box. So DJI with the Phantom 4 started using quick release propellers. It's a really nice feature because it makes changing out the propellers very, very easy. So to get into that here, we'll just take a look here. So if you look here, this has a little white ring on it, and you'll see here the motor has these little white lines on it. So it's got 3 tabs, and there's 3 little slots. So all you have to do is push down, hold the brush of the motor here, the base, and turn it. On the white ones, you're going to turn it clockwise, and then let go, and that's going to lock that one in. This one here, as you can see, has no markings on it, and this motor doesn't either. So again, you'll find the little slots here, and this one you're going to turn counterclockwise, and now the motors are locked in. So that's the craft. So as you can see unfolded here, when compared to the Phantom 3, overall it's about the same size. You know, width-wise, they're about the same. Actually, they might even be the same, but the biggest difference here is the height. I mean, this guy comes in just below where the gimbal is. So just how slim and low profile the Mavic is when compared to the Phantom. So that makes things nice. You know, I don't know if, you know, if you're flying under something, things like that, you want that tight clearance, but it does just make it nice for the portability factor. So get into it here. It fits nicely in your hand. It's not heavy. It definitely feels nice and durable. One of the cool things is on the bottom here, you'll see you've got this heat sink here. I believe it's titanium, so that's pretty cool. The nice heat transfer properties. It's got this nice DJI Mavic embossed in the top here, so that's actually really neat. I like that. You got the cooling fins here. There is a discharge port right here. It's kind of hard to tell, maybe in the lighting here, but there is a fan built into it to help keep it cool and blow air across the back. You also got 2 air discharge ports in the back. You've got the little light cup here. There's no other, I don't see any other rear facing lights, so we just have this one center light. So that's a little different. If you're used to the Phantoms, they had the forward lights and the back lights on the arms. So we've got these 2 sensors here. These are the sonar sensors, and this is what it uses to actually determine how far it is from the ground. I believe it's up to 13 meters these guys work, so it can tell exactly where it is taking off. This sensor here and this sensor here are the vision sensors, the downward vision sensors. So when the Mavic takes off, much like the Phantom 4 Pro and the newly released Phantom 4 Advanced, it takes a precision image of the ground in which it took off once it reaches about 10 meters up, I believe. So it's trying to get a nice image of the ground so it knows exactly where it took off from, so that when you come back to land, it lands very, very close to where it took off of. So it's always a good idea to have some contrasting patterns, something unique like a crack or, you know, things like that. A very monotone or, you know, no pattern, flat color base is going to be very hard for the Mavic to make a good solid image of. So like this table, not going to be real good for that. Something like that. So this is the landing gear in the front here, and then it's got these little, it's actually, there's nothing, there's no, this is metal here. But it's got little tiny rubber feet here. And the antennas are actually built into these front landing legs. So it's got these little rubber pads here on the back here, and so when it's on the ground, that's actually, it lands here on the front, and it actually lands right here on the back. And then this way, there's nothing touching right there. So yeah, looking at the front here, I still have the gimbal cover on. So it comes with this nice gimbal cover. You got this plastic thing here, and this is just to protect the gimbal cover dome. As you can see, it's got the reflection of the light on it, so you know, they actually don't recommend flying with it on. It says you can, but you know, you're going to get some glare. A lot of guys are experiencing glare when they use it, things like that. So it's always recommended to take it off. So there's the gimbal. You can see here. Now I have the gimbal clamp on, so it's going to be kind of hard. It's not going to move or anything like that if I shake it. But if you look behind here, right behind the gimbal, you'll see all these inlets, and that's where there's a cooling fan. It actually draws air through the Mavic and then out the back here and through it, so that you dissipate all the heat that this thing's going to generate. So to take the gimbal clamp off, we just squeeze right here and pull. It does come off a little tough. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. It makes me sometimes feel like I'm going to damage it because, you know, this thing is very tiny, and I'm afraid I'm going to damage it if I do things to it too crazily. But it does use mechanical stabilization, so you can see it's not as wobbly as some of the other ones. But you've got your yaw axis here. You've got your tilt, and then you've also got your roll. So that's pretty neat. This one also does turn 90 to take portrait shots, which is something different. So looking at the front of the Mavic here, it almost looks like an animal, which is pretty interesting because you've got, you know, what look like eyes. Well, that's because this one actually has forward vision sensors, much like the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4, or the Phantom 4 Pro and the Phantom 4 Advanced. It has these two forward vision sensors. This allows you to fly towards things, and as it gets close to stuff, it's going to start realizing that it might actually hit something. So you'd want to be careful and things like that. So just like with all DJI products here, you got the battery here. So this is the button here. It's actually got a little sticker here. It says turn on, off the power. So press once, then press again and hold for 2 seconds. Be sure to remove the gimbal clamp before power on. And the reason we want to do that is because the sensitive electronics and the motors in the gimbal could be damaged if you leave it on when it tries to do its balancing and calibration. So yeah, just if you push it once here, you can see the charge state of the batteries. More lights blinking, the better. If you don't do anything after that, it just simply turns itself back off. And I'll go over all that here in a little bit. So let me just fold this bad boy up again, just to show you again what it looks like once you've got it together and you're ready to be done flying. So here it is all folded up. Now I didn't put the gimbal cover on and the clamp, but as you can see again, it fits in your hand quite nice. You know, just real solid design. Everything folds up nice and neat, and you can stick it right back in the box if you wanted to. So going back around it here, so there's still some stickers on it here. So here it says there's a number 1 right here. It says unfold the front arms forward. So this is just going through the fold out procedures. And then 2, unfold the rear arms down. So, and these guys have a little spring load to them, so that's pretty cool. So as you can see here, if I just lightly go, it's going to go to a point and it's going to spring load itself open. And these arms they stay pretty tight. So same thing with the back, you bring it down. There's a little bit of tension to get them out. So that's makes me feel good. It's real durable. You can see they've got the cords here running in to the side, and they've got nice little protection sleeves on them and things like that. So we've got a little port here on the side. On the port side, this is a micro USB cable. So that's probably where you can do firmware updates to the craft if you needed to connect it manually. Or even get into the flight controller. And then on this side here, it looks like we've got a little toggle switch and the SD card. So the little toggle switch here says RC or Wi-Fi. So this craft can actually be flown without the controller, which is something pretty new for DJI, at least from what I can tell so far. And then inside here's the 16 gigabyte micro SD card. It is a class 10. and you can stick up to a 64 gig SD card in there. So that's pretty cool. So to take the batteries out, you see these little black buttons on the side. That's actually the battery release here. There's one on either side. And if you just squeeze that and pull straight up, the battery comes out. So that's a nice design there. The battery's on the top, so even if it came a little loose during flight, it's probably not going to lose the connection. So you won't have to worry about it falling out of the sky or anything like that. So with a lot of the DJI products here, this is a lithium ion battery, and it does have, it is a 3830 milliamp hour, and it's 11.4 volts. So again, here it even has the power on off instructions down here. Press and hold the circular power button for 2 seconds on and off the battery. So just pushes in, snaps in. So we got this little sticker here. Here, so on this blade here, it actually gives you your Wi-Fi ID and the password that's built into it, so that you have the Wi-Fi password for the craft if you needed to connect it via your Wi-Fi for your phone. Okay, so back here looking at the Mavic Pro again. So now I'm done with all that here. I'm going to actually get it powered up here. So I'm going to do a couple things here and get this guy powered up here. Again, here when turning it on, the DJI says that the first step is to turn on the controller. So the power button's right here. So we just push this once and hold it in. It says connecting. We push and hold this. You'll see the gimbal go through its calibration stages. Calibrates the motors, calibrates the gimbal. Gives you that nice little DJI turn on music. So it's already connected to the craft, so this is pretty cool here. You can see here it says altitude mode, and it gives me some of the stuff. It's actually picking up some stuff inside here. So it says it's ready to go. So to get the controller hooked up, once you have the craft hooked up, I'm just going to turn it this way. Oh man, that light's bright. So the easiest thing I found to get this in here is to take your little micro USB cable and get yourself, kind of want to get yourself set up here first. Get your USB cable plugged in. Get that guy plugged in. Now, the battery actually, the controller actually has abilities to charge your phone or your tablet. Oops, probably just took a picture. And all that stuff here. So now I got that in there. Just gonna slide this guy up. All right, so that's how the controller sits in there, and how your phone sits in there. It's a little crooked for me right now, but that's okay. So let me just get this guy. All right, so once you plug in your phone, I've already got this set up, so and I had to do a firmware update. Most of them will need a firmware update once you get it, just because they've probably been sitting in the box for too long. So you get that powered up, you'll want to make sure you get that updated. So I've already got mine updated, and it's set up so that as soon as the phone notices that I plugged into the controller, it opens up the app for me ahead of time, and everything's set up here. So it says go fly. So if I hit the go fly button here, it's going to open up right up into the application. So again, just like with all the DJI stuff here, you get the aircraft status when you start up. I have the latest firmware. It's normal. The compass is good. ESC status is normal. Radio channel quality good. Flight mode is in position. Calibrated vision sensor is normal. Remote controller battery. So it gives you all this information ahead of time. The remote controller battery is at 44%. Aircraft temperature is 22. I can format the thing. Gimbal status. So if we just hit this X here, you'll be able to see all this stuff here on the screen. So I am recording the screen, so I'll pop that up here, and you'll be able to see that as well. So first thing you're going to notice here is the forward optical sensing is not working, and it tells you right there that the ambient light is too weak. So obviously the lights here in my kitchen are not enough, and things like that. So we'll want to make sure that you've got the best forward lighting as possible for that. So that won't work there. So if you look on the screen now, you'll see here, if I lift this guy up, it thinks I took off. So you can see here now the ambient lighting got better, and you can see on the screen that the optical sensors are picking up the wall on the other side there, and it says it's about 4 feet away, and you know what, that's about right. The vision VPS there is saying that I'm 0.7 feet, and now I'm it says here I'm a foot 1.3 feet from the table, so it looks like it's trying to read the table maybe. It says ready to go vision, so it looks like I could fly it in here, so that's pretty interesting. As usual here, you've got the auto takeoff button here. You can tap this button once and it just says, are you sure you want to take off? Ensure it's safe, aircraft will rise. If you slide that over, it'll take off. I'm just going to hit cancel. So it does have the intelligent modes. This one doesn't have any switches or anything to make it go from position to altitude hold. It seems like it does it automatically once it loses satellites or goes indoors. So that's pretty neat. I like that, that it does it automatically here. And then looking into the so if we go into the controller looking button here, this is the intelligent modes. So we've got a gesture mode. So this is pretty cool. I can't even go into any of these here without being taken off. But the gesture mode allows you to do some different things like that. It's got active track, tap fly, tripod, cinematic. It has terrain follow, point of interest, follow me, waypoints, home lock, course lock. So point of interest, follow me, course lock, home lock, waypoints, and actually that's it. Those features are all pretty standard on all the other DJI products, so that's pretty cool. So if you're familiar with those, they'll be the same as they were. So it has some new features there with that. So just looking at everything here, so as you can see, if I lift this up here, the camera stays nice and nice and stable, and as you can see with the gimbal here, since this was looking, I'm going to look straight down at the table here, and then I'm going to look up. There we go. So that's level here. So that's pretty cool. You can see it stays level. And it's gonna, no matter what I do with the movements here, it's gonna keep itself oriented right. Now, one of the nice things with this one is, as well as some of the others, you can do up to a 30-degree up tilt. So that's pretty interesting. And you can go straight down and all that. So you can program some of the buttons here. I programmed this one already for panning. Oh no, this one. No. One of these buttons you can use it to pan and make that. There we go. So this 5D button right here, if I push up, that causes the gimbal to go from being straight down to straight level. So that's pretty cool. Let's see that. So we got different things like that. So this one here, you'll see on the screen here when I scroll the thumb wheel. Hey, what happened? Uh-oh. I think my phone just died. No, there we go. I must have tapped the button there. So this little thumb wheel at the top here, like I said before, you can hear those little beeps. If you look here on the shutter speed here, it's actually changing the ISO, or the EV setting. I believe that's the, like, that might be the brightness things and whatnot. And you can see that on the controller body as well. It gives you that information. So this is pretty neat here. So this clearance here is the clearance to the ground. So if I lift this up, you can see it change. So that's pretty neat. So I will go over all of these different features with the screen a little bit later in my flight test and whatnot. But you do have the map here, so you can pull up the map of your area and it'll show you where you're at. It shows you where your home point is. It'll show you your course when you're flying and different things like that as well. This little toggle button over here is for the going from audio, pictures to video. You can switch between the two. You have this little 3-dot bar up here. This is your menu, as usual. And if I hit that here, it just opens up. There we go. This opens up your general settings menu here, so you can change all the different things here. So you got camera long presses, gimbal control, or focus. So this is neat. It has the Geo system installed here. When the Geo system is enabled, you can use the latest information on flight restrictions to ensure your flight does not violate flight regulations or public safety. For more information, visit dji.com/flysafe/geosystem. That's pretty cool. This thing will actually tell you when you're entering possibly restricted airspace, and will also prevent you from going into restricted airspace using like a geo fence. So that's that, guys. That's the Mavic Pro. Hope you enjoy. I'm going to turn this guy off here. Push it once, then hold. That shuts everything off. Push him once and hold. That shuts this down. And you get that nice little tip. And you can see here it says aircraft disconnect and all that stuff. So take that out.